bathroom again. It's a hat day. It's dreary outside. It's cold outside, and if I go anywhere, it's gonna be to the Dollar Tree to look for more craft items. Today I'm gonna be crafting a door hanger for my office, and I'm gonna do it double-sided. But I wanted to show y'all what I found at the Dollar Tree this week. Very nice thick cutting pad, and it's a little one, and I needed a smaller one because a lot of times I'm just have some little small stuff to cut, and I always have to go grab my bigger one. So I found this, and I said it was $1.25, and so I grabbed it. And so I'm excited about that. And then I also found this at the Dollar Tree. Now that was one of the $5 items. And I haven't opened it yet, but you can see it opens up like a little stand. You can decorate it, or you can display food on it. And it's got little hangers on the back, and little latches that latch around the bars. I thought it was real nice. Little latches that latch around the bars so that when you get it set up, it's not gonna collapse or move. They had different colors. They had white. They had this, what they call blue, but it's more like teal green blue accent color. And they had like a mint green, and I think they had a pink at my Dollar Tree. And I thought it was cute, so I went ahead and picked it up. I'm not gonna be crafting with it or making anything out of it, but it's gonna be used probably in my kitchen to display goodies. So with my door tag, I'm going to use the same paint I used for my door sign so that they kind of coordinate. And then I'm gonna be using the white vinyl on that as well. So we're gonna paint it, dry it, cut our letters out, and then I have to figure out what kind of, I want to put a little bit of a decoration on it. I don't know if I'm going to put a bow at the top or what, but I have to figure that out. But join me. So we're going to paint one side. It's probably going to take more than one coat. Let it dry, or dry it with the blow dryer, the dryer. I'm just gonna put the paint directly on there. It's spread easier. Now, this had like a little plastic hanger glued to the back of it, so when I took the plastic hanger off, I took the blow dryer to get it off, first of all, so it wouldn't rip the thin wood. And then I took my little sanding block that I have and sanded it to make sure all the glue came off. Because like I said, I'm doing a double-sided. So I want to get up in that little crevice good. Get the edges. Go ahead and get them on while I'm doing this front side, and that way they'll be done and I won't have to worry about redoing them again. And then just make sure your paint is not clumped up anywhere. And we're gonna dry it. Now, if this were chalk paint, we would use the cool setting on the hairdryer because chalk paint will crack. However, we used our acrylic paint, so we're good. All right, so we've dried that with a hairdryer. okay? I'm gonna put a second coat on it. You can use any kind of paint you want, but I'm just giving you that little tip about the hairdryer. To make sure if you're using a hairdryer, you got one with a cool setting. Most of them do these days. Got a little piece of dried hunk of wax under here, and it's actually kind of being beneficial because it's keeping the edges over here up off the mat so that it doesn't stick to the mat. Okay, we'll let that dry and we'll see if we need another coat. Even though I dried that with a hairdryer, I'm gonna go ahead and put the third coat on it, and I'm gonna dry it again, but then I'm just gonna let it set for about 30 minutes before I flip it over and do the back side. So this is taking 3 coats. If I had thought about it ahead of time, I could have sprayed it with some sealer and then painted over the sealer, and that probably would have kept it from soaking up into the wood as bad, but I didn't. And this paint is cheap, but it doesn't cost a lot of money. So, and then I'll have 3 full coats on it. I will Mod Podge it once I get the design on it to keep it from chipping or because it's going to have a lot of wear and tear on my door. So anyway, we'll be back after about 30 minutes. Okay, we're back and our paint's dry, but before we get started, I wanted to show you, I went ahead and cut my letters out. I haven't weeded them yet on my silhouette, but I wanted to show you my little rabbit. I put it together. Let me show you. It's not the cutest thing. And if you know what size a silhouette is, well, and there's my laptop. But if you know what size a silhouette is, it's a pretty good size. I would say the bottom is somewhere between a 10 and 12 inch circle, and the top is probably an 8-inch circle. But it's gonna be really cute, and you could dress it up with a bow. You could put a bow right there beneath the rabbit ears. And you could like put like sweet treats and stuff on it, like Easter treats if you have your family over at Easter, or you could decorate it and set it on your table in your foyer, or on top of your TV console or your mantle, and have you a cute little Easter decoration. But just put little Eastery things on there. So I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do with it yet. I'll probably use it for food, but I may decide to decorate it. So we'll see. But let's get back to our craft. Okay, so we have both sides painted, and I just put this little brown paper down so you could see it better on top of this. I don't want to hang this yet because it's got it itself has some wet spots on it, but the hanger itself is dry. So we've got it the purple color. It's the same color as the door hanger I made. Let me show you that. Some of you may not have seen that video. So here is the door hanger I made for my office door at work, because I'm fixing to graduate with my doctorate. So I used the same color paint, and I got my 2 sides cut out with my silhouette and got them weeded, and I had some of the flowers left that I used like on my other side, and I thought it would be cute to incorporate them into this one, so that they kind of match. So I'm gonna take my transfer paper And I'm gonna get my lettering on here. Alright, and this first side is gonna say out to lunch. So I'm just gonna line it up. Pretty much centered. It's hard to tell. It's really smarter to cut your transfer paper. Nice and straight too. It's easier to tell when you're putting stuff down, but I didn't, so. And you want to go slow in case all your letters don't adhere, but it looks like these are adhering good. And I'll just kind of give them a pat just to make sure. But there's the front side. Okay, so I'm going to flip that over. And my other one says with a student, because I have to meet with students and counsel them and do test reviews and stuff. So I want something that's handy just to grab and stick on the door so that people don't interrupt us. When we're trying to meet. And I'm going to do the same thing with this side. I'm going to try to get it centered. And straight. When you have I's and J's and little letters with dots, you need to make sure that they come off. Because sometimes they don't. Okay, so I have a with a student side and I have out to lunch. Now, I'm not going to put my flowers on right now because I gotta Mod Podge this so that it's sealed on. It doesn't get funky looking as I put it on and off and on and off and on and off the door. So I'm not gonna make you suffer through my Mod Podging, but we're gonna Mod Podge, and then I think I'm gonna place the flowers kind of like to the side. And I may come and put a tiny bow up here. I'm not sure, but we'll see how it goes. But let me Mod Podge real quick. And again, if you watch me very often, you know I like to use the matte Mod Podge and not the glossy. There's a few things I would use the glossy on, but I like the matte finish. I don't like that really shiny. I mean, it's going to have a little bit of a shimmer to it, but it's not going to be like totally. And then you want to make sure it's smooth, even though it dries clear. You don't want a bunch of lumpies in there. So you want to make sure and get in here. Make sure that's not going to lump up either and drip onto your other side. strokes. And we'll let that dry. Okay, so we got both sides Mod Podged and dried. And so these little flowers have stickies on the back, but I'm going to hot glue them because they need to be secure. I'm going to put one right there, and then I'm going to put one right there. And I don't think I'm going to use a bow. I had thought about using a bow at the top, but I think I'm not going to do that. So I've got my hot glue gun warmed up over here. I was going to show y'all too. I bought what I bought. I bought this mount for my blow dryer. It's just like one you use in the bathroom, and I just screwed it into my craft table. And it's real handy because I can be sitting here and I can just reach and get it, use it, and then put it back out of the way. It's my hair dryer that stays in here the whole time. All right, I'm going to put some hot glue on here. And I'm just gonna hold it there for a second. Okay, that's cute. Then I'm gonna do the same with the other side. Just gonna hold them. I'm gonna hold both of them. And I don't have a round doorknob on my door at work. I have one of the long handled ones. So this will just slip right over it. And I hate the way, I know I say this all the time, but I hate the way that hot glue strings. Let me show you. So there we go, with a student. Out to lunch. I like it. I'll use it for a little while and see how it works, but these little things are so cheap when they're on sale. They're like just a little over $1, and they're wood. They're thin, but they're wood. But you could make one, like if you had a small baby at home and you didn't want people coming to the door, knocking on the door, or using the doorbell and waking your baby up, you could put a little message on here: "Baby sleeping, please don't knock or use doorbell." Or if you got a delivery guy coming, please leave delivery under screen porch. You know, so they don't leave it out when it's going to be raining or something. If you work nights, you could have one that says, you know, "Worked last night sleeping." Okay. And it could just be one-sided. You wouldn't have to do a double-sided one. I just did a double-sided one because that's the two I use the most, out to lunch and with a student. But really and truly, you could make them for the holiday. You could like make a Christmas one, make an Easter one, make a Mardi Gras one, Thanksgiving, and just put something cute on there. If you're one of those people with open door policies at your home, come on in, you know. if you're my family, you know you can come on in if you know my door code, which some of my family does know my door code. But if you're not my family, you probably, would need to be invited in first. But I live out in the country too, so it's not like I'm in town where you got a bunch of people walking around and you never know what they're doing. But anyway, I'm going to take that to work this week. I may take a picture of it once I get it on my work door. But I like it. I think it's cute. I don't know. Should I move the flower down? Because see how the flower shows to the back? Should I remove it and move it down a little bit? I don't know. I think I will while it's still fresh. It's all trial and error. I mean, you just got to figure out what you're doing. If something turns out bad, that's why I try not to spend a whole lot of money on my craft supplies. So if something turns out bad and I don't like the way it looks, then I can just chunk it in the trash or take it apart and redo it in a different way. Okay, I think that looks better without the end showing. One little petal showing right there, but I'm just gonna leave it be. All right, I'll try that out at work and I'll let y'all know how it worked for me. I'm not gonna work in the craft room anymore today. I'm tired. It's a dreary day outside, and I've been watching crafts on YouTube in between drying times this morning, and I have found several things. There are a lot of things from the Dollar Tree that I think are cute, but there are also a lot of things from the Dollar Tree that I see on some of these videos that are kind of cheap, and I'm not about putting cheap looking plastic flowery stuff at my house. And so like I said, some of it looks good. You take some of these pizza pans and paint them and make some door hangings out of them. A lot of those look really nice, and if they're done correctly, they can be, but I'm not about just taking cheap looking stuff and putting it together to make something to sit in my house. But I'm going to be trying a few of the dollar store crafts, but for the most part, like I want stuff that looks better. I want to be able to give it as gifts, and I'm not going to, unless it looks good, I'm not going to be giving it away as a gift just because it was cheap for me to make. And I want stuff to last, so if I make something for myself, I want it to last a while. So anyway, that's about it for the day. We could sit here and talk all day if we wanted to, but I got other things to be doing, and I'm trying to find a recipe to cook for next week. If you haven't watched my video on my Bavarian cake, I can't remember exactly what it's called, White Bliss or something like that. I'm not really sure about that recipe. I'm not sure if it's actually the cake that I was intending to bake. I followed the recipe the whole way, but I don't know that recipe was correct as it was published. But it was delicious. It was really good, but it's not what I was thinking it was going to be. So I might try to find a real Bavarian cream cake at some point later on and make that. But I'm going to be making a casserole and a Mississippi pot roast, which there's tons of Mississippi pot roast recipes out there. So I probably won't film a Mississippi pot roast, but I am going to film another casserole similar to one I grew up eating as a child. And it looks quick and easy, and that's what I like. And I know a lot of the working moms out there and working dads like quick quick, easy meals that are filling and that taste good, but that don't take forever to prepare. So I'm going to be looking at getting the stuff for that probably next weekend and filming that casserole when Jay's home. But we got a pretty full weekend next weekend, so it'll likely just be the one video next weekend. But I'm hoping you enjoy it because it's going to be something easy, and I know it's good because I've had it before. But this one varies just ever so slightly from the one my mom used to make. But we're going to try it out and see how it goes. But anyway, y'all have a great day. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Don't be afraid to get stuff together and buy your supplies on sale, and don't pay full price for them if you can help it. Go to Hobby Lobby, go 3 or 4 weeks in a row. They'll have some different stuff on sale every week, and then it rotates back around. I do buy some stuff at the Dollar Tree, but a lot of the stuff is just not for me. And I buy some stuff at Dollar General, and sometimes I might buy things and totally paint over them, and they don't look anything like they did when I bought them. But I'm not going to pay a lot of money for them. But they got to look nice. I'm not going to go cheap looking. I just go cheap pricing. So subscribe to my channel. I'm going to start doing a lot more. I've already picked up some. I'm in my last weeks of school, and it's my terminal degree, so there's nothing to get after this one above that one. So probably not going to go back to school unless I just take some certification courses, but no more big degrees. Okay, so I'm going to try to concentrate on my cooking and my crafts. And it's getting to be summertime, so I might do a few garden too. I do some raised bed gardens and tractor tires, big tractor tires. So we might try to do that too. I have some garlic that I planted back in October. That should be ready sometime at the end of March, early April, mid-April, somewhere around in there. That we'll harvest, and I might can film that. And I'm going to be planting some herbs again this year, and I'm going to be planting some peppers again this year. And I'll start canning in the summer, so we'll have a few more canning recipes. Putting up some stuff. I think I'm going to put up some more baked beans, and I might try to can some meat, put some pork and different things up, because I can stick it in the freezer, but then if my freezer goes out or if we lose electricity for over a certain amount of time, then all your stuff is ruined. So I'm trying to put up as much in jars as I can, because they are shelf stable for several years, and you don't have to worry about the freezer going out. That being said, I'm still going to put the stuff in the freezer, but I'd like to have some stuff on the shelf too. I have peas and butter beans on the shelf now. I have some baked beans on the shelf. I have some sweet potatoes, some white potatoes, jelly, jam. I don't remember what all, but I want to add to that, and I want to start putting some meat up. Because I think we're fixing to head into some hard times. We already are seeing a huge price on eggs, and I do have my own chicken, so I am able to use my eggs without having to go to the store and buy them. And chicken feed is still relatively cheap. I can spend $25 and have enough food for my chickens for a month. So that's a good thing. So I am blessed with chickens and my own eggs. So, but I think we need to start thinking about what's in this food at the grocery store. Do I still eat some of it? Yes, I do. Is it good for me? Probably not, but you know, I like my occasional Nutter Butter and my occasional candy bar, and even the canned food that's at the grocery store, it has preservatives in it. Our bread can sit on the counter for 3 months and never mold. So there's something wrong with that. There's something wrong when bread does not mold for 3 months. So I might start trying to cook some bread this summer and have fresh bread instead of buying bread from the grocery store. But just think about that, and it's not hard to do. It's not hard to can. Get you a ball can book, and you got all kinds of recipes in there and instructions. I have a pressure canner and I have a water bath canner, and some things you have to pressure can and some things can just be water bathed. So it just depends on what you're wanting to put up. If you don't want a pressure canner, then you can put up stuff that can just be water bathed safely. So I am water glassing eggs as well, and we finished up the ones we water glassed last year, because in the winter the chickens don't get as much daylight, and so they're not producing as many eggs, and it gets cold, and so they don't lay and they start molting. They're just not laying as good in the wintertime, and then when the days start getting longer and they start getting more sunlight, and then they start laying again. So we water glass, and we put up as many eggs as we can that way, and they'll stay good. And if you water glass them properly, they will stay good. Like I said, a year later, we were eating eggs out of our water glass jar. So, and I've got some that I put away this year. So, I've got eggs. If I need to bake, or if I want to scramble some or whatever, I have them. I prefer them fresh, but if I have to water glass them, I actually put some in the freezer this morning. You can put them, I have some of those little freezer containers, like with individual, kind of like an ice tray. You could probably use an ice tray if you had small eggs. But I froze some eggs this morning, and tomorrow I'm gonna take them out and put them in my sealer. I have one of those sealer machines, so I'll suck all the air out of them and seal them and freeze them like that. I have some some with yolks and some whites. So, and then all you have to do is thaw them out and cook them. So think about that too. If you're some of the ones buying eggs at the store and spending $6 and $7 for a dozen, probably 5-6 years ago, it was probably cheaper to do that, to buy them at the store. But now they're so high, it's cheaper to buy the feed and take care of your chickens, and you still come out ahead. So think about that. Anyway, I'm gonna let you go. I could ramble forever. Thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and we'll be back with something else later. Have a great day.